Hi everybody, Jordan Blotcher here, aka the Sports Card Lawyer, back again with another video. And the purpose of this video is we're going to be doing another pick of the day. This one is going to be a mid-stakes pick of the day, so in terms of what I consider to be mid-stakes, any card ranging from $300 to $999. $1,000 plus is when I think we get into the sort of higher-end, high-stakes buy sort of situation. And so this pick is going to be mid-stakes. The card we're going to be talking about is trading under $1,000, and the reason it's going to be our pick of the day is because it's trading dramatically below where it should be. I spend a lot of time every day going through these charts, going through these graphs for key players, and looking for great opportunities. And this graph just jumped off the page as soon as I saw it. So we're going to be talking about the Tom Brady 2000 Bowman base. This is one of his flagship rookie cards. It's not the Chrome, it's the one that's slightly less desirable. However, it's still very, very liquid, and people still absolutely love this Tom Brady rookie card. Now, what's really interesting about this particular card we're going to be looking at today is that we're not talking about the PSA 9 or the PSA 10 or even the PSA 8 or even the PSA 7. We're looking at the PSA 6, which normally you would absolutely never think to buy at any point in time because it's graded below the standard of what you would normally consider to be raw, because usually raw corresponds with PSA 8. So why would you ever look at the PSA 6? Well, in this case, sometimes the PSA 6 ends up being the absolute best buy relative to all of the other grades. And so anytime you're looking at a card, you want to make sure that you take the time to click on multiple different grades of the cards, because you might not think to look at the 6, but really the 6 is an amazing investment. And so here I clicked on the 6 and immediately knew that I needed to make a video for you guys, just as something to keep your eye out for, because there's an amazing buying opportunity that exists for this exact card and this exact grade. So let's take a look at this graph. Over the last year, you'll notice that this trend line is entirely flat for this card. We have a lot of sales above the trend line. We have a lot of sales below the trend line. The sales below the trend line have almost exclusively come during this off season, but the line itself is completely flat, which indicates to us that when the card trades below its trend line, that's going to be an opportunity for us to buy, because the card is extremely stable over a very large sample size of sales. So just looking at this, it looks like we have 12, 15, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, around 55 sales of this card over the course of the last year, and the most recent sale of the card is the lowest it has sold for over the course of that time. So anytime we have a huge number of sales happening like that, in this case well over 50, and you see that the most recent sale is the cheapest price that it's been over any of those sales, that's generally going to be a buy signal for us, especially when it's trading so dramatically below the trend line. So this has just happened in the last couple days. As you can see, on August 30th, this card traded at $900, which was right around the trend line value. However, in the last 10 days, we had a sale at $800, so that was $100 down from peak. That was below trend line. And then the most recent sale is a dramatic crash. It went from $800 down to $555 is the most recent sale of the card. Now, I'm not completely convinced that you're going to be able to get your hands on one of these cards at $555. I don't think sellers are going to want to release at that price, since, like I said, it is the absolute lowest the card has ever sold at over the course of the last year. But that doesn't mean that you should not be on the lookout for it, and that does not mean that you can't throw this comp in a seller's face and say, sorry, I'm not willing to pay you $800 for this card. One just sold at $555, and you can use that to put pressure on the seller to release at a lower price point than they otherwise might feel comfortable. So if you are able to get this card in the $555 area, let's talk about how much you stand to gain. Because the trend line on this card is $900. So if you got it at $555, in order to figure out the value of how much it's trading below trend line, we do 555 divided by 900, and we see that the card at 555 is trading at about 62% of its year-long trend line. So even if you were only able to capture 90% of the trend line value of this card when the season started, you would still stand to gain about 30% increase in the value of the card if you were able to get it at $555. So basically, you stand to gain $275 to $300 for every single copy of this card that you manage to get at $555, which is nearly a 50% return on your investment if you were able to get the card at this price and then sell it when it returns to trendline. So I just wanted to make this video for you guys because I think there's a couple important lessons to learn. It's that, first of all, don't sleep on the low PSA grades or the low BGS grades of a card, because sometimes a buying opportunity can emerge. If I were you in this situation, and I'm certainly going to, I would be looking at the for sale section of eBay. I would be looking at my slabs. I would see if I had an opportunity to make offers on this card at around the $555 price point, because it's possible we haven't even seen the floor yet, and so these cards might slip even lower. They absolutely shouldn't, because it's Tom Brady and he's the greatest of all time, and his cards are never going to stay below their trend line for a very long period of time. But we just need to be keeping our eye on the market, paying attention to these graphs, and when something like this happens and we get a buying signal this dramatic, we need to make sure that we're in a position to take advantage of it if one of these cards hits the market for very cheap. So that's it for this video. Drop me a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment. I'm looking forward to sharing more picks with you guys very soon. I spend a lot of time looking at these graphs, and so there's going to be a lot of videos. Anytime I see a buying opportunity like this, I'm going to bring it to your attention. I don't see any reason that this information should be kept behind a $50 a month paywall. I pay the $50 a month so that you guys don't have to. So for now, take care, and I hope that everybody has a great rest of your day and that you find this very useful.